Welcome to the Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here with us today. Whether you're stepping into a new Scrum Master role, transitioning into an Agile enterprise environment, or maybe you're an executive looking to understand how the actual work gets done on the ground, well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to master the safe iteration, and we're taking you directly from the very first planning stages all the way through to flawless delivery. To start things off, we really have to ask a fundamental question. What actually drives true business agility? Our bottom line up front for this explainer is a concept that might honestly surprise some people. True agility absolutely does not come from chaos. It doesn't mean just building things on the fly without a plan. Actually, scalable business agility comes from a highly structured, predictable, and repeatable delivery cycle. Predictability is literally the secret sauce that allows large organizations to pivot safely. Okay, let's dive right into this. At first glance, the Scaled Agile Framework big picture looks massive, right? It's kind of like looking at the blueprint for a small city. But don't let all that complexity overwhelm you. While this framework does an amazing job aligning thousands of people across global enterprises, its real, tangible power actually starts right down at the foundation. It starts at the team level. Because if the teams aren't executing effectively, the entire enterprise framework built above them, it simply collapses. To understand how we execute at that team level, here is our roadmap for today. First, the foundation of the iteration. Second, iteration planning and commitment. Third, execution and flow. Fourth, building quality in. Fifth, DevOps and delivery. And finally, number 6, review and retrospective. Section 1, foundation of the iteration. Our core takeaway here is that a predictable rhythm is your ultimate antidote to development chaos. In SAFe, we define the iteration as the fundamental heartbeat of agile delivery. Think about it. Just like a healthy human heartbeat, it needs to be steady and predictable, usually operating on a fixed 2-week cadence. This steady heartbeat aligns multiple teams across an agile release train, ensuring everyone is marching to the exact same drumbeat to achieve broader long-term business goals, which we call Program Increment or PI objectives. Section 2, iteration planning and commitment. Flawless execution always begins with a crystal clear commitment. Before we ever pull work into an iteration, we have to allocate our capacity. We balance 3 major categories: user stories, which deliver the shiny new business value; refactors, which improve our existing architecture; and maintenance, which fixes the bugs. Balancing these 3 is incredibly important. You know, if you only ever build new features, your technical debt, which is essentially the cost of future rework caused by taking coding shortcuts today, will skyrocket, and eventually your team's velocity will degrade to an absolute crawl. Now, what's really interesting here is how we make sure those user stories are actually ready for development. We use the INVEST criteria. Every single story brought into planning must be independent, meaning we can build it entirely on its own. It must be negotiable in scope. It has to be valuable to the customer. We must be able to estimate its size. It needs to be small enough to easily fit inside our 2-week iteration. And finally, it absolutely must be testable. This ensures every piece of work delivers distinct, high-quality business value. Section 3, execution and visualizing flow. A universal business truth is that you simply cannot optimize or manage a workflow that you cannot see. So to visualize flow, Agile teams utilize Kanban boards with WIP, or work in process, limits. A Kanban board simply maps out the exact steps a story takes to get to done. But honestly, the magic isn't in the columns themselves, it's in those WIP limits. By explicitly limiting how many items can be in the development or testing stages at any one time, we actively prevent bottlenecks. Most importantly, it stops the team from becoming completely overwhelmed by constantly starting new tasks without ever finishing old ones. The mantra here is stop starting and start finishing. To keep things moving, the team synchronizes every single day in the daily stand-up, or DSU. This is a super short, highly focused meeting with a strict agenda. What did I do yesterday? What's my plan today? And are there any blockers standing in my way? That's it. It is strictly focused on syncing the team. If a really complex technical problem pops up, we push that to step 4, the meet after. That's where only the necessary folks stick around to deep dive into a solution so we aren't wasting everyone else's time. Section 4, building quality in. In the enterprise world, speed without quality is really just a faster way to fail. The creator of SAFe, Dean Leffingwell, hit the nail on the head when he said, "You can't scale crappy code, or hardware, or anything else for that matter."
Professional enterprise delivery absolutely mandates that we don't just bolt quality on at the very end like an afterthought. We have to build quality into every single increment, every single day, using rigorous agile engineering practices.
So how do we actually do that? Well, we utilize the test pyramid. Think of your testing strategy kind of like a balanced financial portfolio. We want to prioritize a massive base of incredibly fast automated tests at the bottom and have very few slow manual end-to-end tests at the top. This lets us shift testing left, which really just means we test early and constantly as we write the code, rather than waiting until the end. We also invest in our architectural runway using enabler stories. It's literally like building train tracks ahead of a moving train. We have to build a technical infrastructure today so the business can confidently roll out new features tomorrow.
Section 5, DevOps and Continuous Delivery.
Modern Agile requires us to completely bridge the gap between the teams building the features and the operations teams delivering them. And this brilliantly illustrates how we do it, the CALMR approach. It starts with a culture of shared responsibility. We heavily prioritize automation of our delivery pipelines. We establish lean flow by keeping our batch sizes really small. We use measurement to track flow and quality using telemetry, which is just automated data collection. And finally, recovery. We architect systems so that if something breaks, there's no panic. We can fix it or roll it back instantly, minimizing our risk. This CALMR approach serves as the rock-solid foundation for the continuous delivery pipeline. This pipeline maps exactly how value moves step by step from a raw idea directly into the customer's hands. It kicks off with continuous exploration, really understanding what the market needs. Then, continuous integration, building and merging the code frequently. Next is continuous deployment, getting that code safely into a live production environment. And finally, release on demand. Now, this is absolutely crucial. We have to make a vital distinction at the end of that pipeline, deploying to production versus releasing value. In a mature Agile environment, these are two entirely different things. We use technical mechanisms like feature toggles to safely deploy code to our live production environments continuously, without the end user ever even seeing it. Deploying is a technical decision, but releasing that value to the customer, actually flipping that switch so they can use it, that is purely a business decision, done precisely when the market demands it. Section 6, Review and Retrospective. An iteration is never truly finished until the loop is closed with real feedback and reflection. First up, we hold the iteration review to demonstrate our working software to the stakeholders. But before we show off anything, it has to meet a rigorous definition of done. This is not just a casual checklist. Stories must satisfy all acceptance criteria, all automated and manual tests must have passed, and non-functional requirements, like strict security and performance standards, have to be met. Finally, the product owner must officially accept it. Only then does it prove our increment is genuinely ready. Right after the review, the team holds the iteration retrospective. We take a breath, look back at the past 2 weeks, and identify what went well and, frankly, what didn't. But here's the trick. We don't try to boil the ocean and fix everything at once. The golden rule here is to pick just 1 or 2 small, highly actionable items that can be improved upon for the very next iteration. This really drives home the core concept of relentless improvement. Small iterative tweaks compound over time into massive enterprise agility. We have covered the complete life cycle today, from the foundation and planning, through execution and quality, all the way to deployment and relentless improvement. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Look at your own teams. Look at your own workflows. How will you take these premium enterprise strategies and use them to optimize your very next iteration to truly master the Agile heartbeat? Thank you so much for joining me on The Explainer. I'll see you next time.